Today's video, we're going to be having a look at the final figure from the Funko Rick and Morty Snowball mech suit wave, as we have a look today at Mr. Poopy Butthole. Mr. Poopy Butthole stands at 4.5 inches tall. He comes with the torso piece for Snowball in the mech suit, which looks quite cool. Of course, you can see the peg holes where everything is going to come together. And I think what I might do is I'll hold off putting together Snowball until we actually get to the Snowball review, and then we'll have some fun. We'll put all the pieces together then. So in the meantime, there is Snowball in the mech suit. Can't wait to put him together. Put him to the side. He does come with a couple of his own accessories, unlike Bird Person. He comes with a cane, which just is looks like it's just cast in black plastic. And he comes with, I believe, a jar of painkillers, which is extremely small. Be careful that I don't actually lose these. Now, putting him in his hand, it seems like his hands are specific for the proper accessories. The more open hand fits very easily the painkillers. The smaller, closed-off hand fits better the cane. You could switch it the other way around, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to fit. Mr. Poopy Butthole, and this is going to be a questionable title, and recently, YouTube has done this whole thing where they flag videos based on content and based on inappropriate words. I'm curious as to whether Mr. Poopy Butthole is going to be a flag for them. But nonetheless, we will push forward. Mr. Poopy Butthole looks really good. I feel like he's a little too tall, though. And we bring in, for example, Rick. I feel like he could be maybe just maybe half a head smaller. I mean, I guess technically they didn't want to make him so super small, but he does seem like he's a little too tall. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. He's got some nice coloring to him. He has more of a paler flesh tone, both in his head and his arms and his legs. Pair of shorts, he's got the feet, of course his shoes on his feet, and there is his head sculpt. The head sculpt I think is passable. It's a good head sculpt. Mr. Poopy Butthole, again, this is so comical for me to be saying this in a review, is a good figure. I think I almost would have preferred a Scary Terry, in all honesty, over this guy right here. But still, it's cool that we get him. I can only hope, though, that we get ourselves a wave 2, with maybe another equally cool Build-A-Figure piece. He does have a hat, which is not removable. He seems to stand pretty good. He doesn't seem to have the problem that some of the other figures have had in this series. To also note as well, he doesn't have nearly the posability. Oops, not nearly the posability that the other figures have had too. His legs only move back and forth. They don't hinge outward. But really, some could even argue the point. He has better articulation in the sense that you can move his legs forward and back. Rick and Morty both seem to have not that same sort of luxury. They can't seem to do this with their legs. Can't seem to rotate his feet. His arms, again, can only really swivel back and forth. He doesn't have a bend in the elbow or anything like that. And then his head rotates. So he's a little bit more limited, I have to admit, than some of the other figures. But I guess based on his size, they didn't want to give him super articulation because then those joints may potentially be really, really loose. And of course the hands rotate there as well. Again, he's a great looking figure. He's not one of my favorites from this particular series. But, the fact that they would say Series 1, I think they actually say Series 1, might make me think that they've got plans for a Series 2. And fingers crossed, we get ourselves Scary Terry. That would be so cool if we get Scary Terry in the set there. As a whole, though, not a bad looking figure. He's got interesting... I feel like, if anything, the face sculpts, the expressions could have been a little bit more outrageous. Poopy... I'm trying to think of ways I could say this without... It's going to get flagged, I'm sure. Mr. Poopy Butthole Again, has a good face sculpt, but I think I'm more accepting, I think, of his head sculpt. I think Morty could have afforded a little bit better of an expression, I think, on his face. Something a little bit more zanier than the more calmer face that they gave him. But this figure is pretty good. And, you know, the icing on the cake is that you get the torso piece that the arms and the legs will attach themselves to. And we'll, of course, look at Snowball in the next review. Certainly, as always, guys, thanks for watching as you always do. Today we were having a look at the Rick and Morty. This was the Snowball in Mech Suit Wave. And we're looking today at Mr. Poopy Butthole. Can only imagine what somebody's going to come across this video and say, this is not what I thought this was going to be. I don't really know what you were thinking it was going to be, but nonetheless, we were looking today at Mr. Poopy Butthole. As always, guys, thanks for watching as you always do. Certainly hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and never miss a beat when it comes to future videos coming onto this channel. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.